Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to another evening of Spotlight. I'm Edjuenka, and we have a very informative program for you again this evening. With me tonight is Rotary District 7020 Governor Harish Ramchandani. He's in the BVI for about a week or so, and he's going to be talking about his role as district governor and the charitable work that Rotary is doing, and of course, all the work that Rotary does around the world and around the region. We also have St. Clair Springett of the BVI CCHA. He will be promoting the classic BVI CCHA Gala event that's coming up on November the 19th. So it's going to be a very interesting and informative program tonight. So I want to go right now to District Governor Harish Ramchandani. Welcome to the BVI.
Thank you very much. It's very good to be here.
Yes, and welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you.
Great. Now, you and I want to extend, and I'm sure that your Mrs. Ramchandani is watching, so we want to also extend a welcome to her as well. Welcome to the BVI. Yeah. So first, I want to talk to you about where you're from.
Okay.
District Governor of the region, and your home is?
I'm from Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what you do there?
Well, I'm into retail management and real estate management in Montego Bay.
So what is that? Selling houses, buying houses, developing property?
Yes, developing properties. Yes.
That's all. Well, yeah, cool. And when was? How did you begin? When did you become district governor?
Well, on July 1, 2016. The Rotary year is July 1 to June 30th. So just as a club president, similar for a district governor, similar for a Rotary International president. The Rotary year, July 1 to June 30th. So on July 1, I became governor.
Okay. And you're here in the BVI. I think you came out yesterday.
Okay.
And what are some of the things you're going to be doing while you're here?
Okay, so the role of the governor is to come and visit the different territories. Our district is District 7020, has 10 countries and 16 islands. And so the idea of the governor is to come and visit, have a conversation with the members, look at their projects, give some ideas, and get inspired from them as well to be able to share that and showcase that with the rest of the Rotary world. So during the course of this week, we're going to be looking at educational projects and impact that the clubs are doing. We'll be looking at some other areas, maybe with the elderly, and some other outreach that the club has been working on over the years and are probably going to be working on in the coming year as well. So it's going to be an exciting week of activities, visiting clubs, visiting youth arm, and visiting projects that the clubs have been working on.
And you say you got about 10 countries with Rotary clubs that you're now overseeing.
Correct.
So to speak. And what you do, countries?
Yeah, so we have 82 clubs in 10 countries, 16 islands, from the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, the British Virgin Islands, the US Virgin Islands, Anguilla, French West Indies, and Saint Martin.
Wow! So it's a big job.
Yes,
it's a big job.
Yes.
So how did you get? What was the path to district governor and to the Rotary?
Well, I joined Rotary some 19 years ago, and I realized it was an opportunity for me to be able to make a contribution to my community, make a difference in the world. The path to governor was one that I realized when I became club president, because here I realized I am now able to inspire members of my Rotary club to be able to do even more good in their community. And at that point I realized, if I can make a difference in my community through my club, imagine the difference I can make in all the communities as governor, just by inspiring Rotarians and giving them ideas and finding ways to help them partner with other Rotary clubs, just to be able to have a bigger impact. So the drive was about having this opportunity to do meaningful difference and making the world just a little bit better than we found it.
Okay. So there was an intention. You say, well, you know, I want to be district governor because I have this vision, I have this goal.
Absolutely.
To make the world a better place, or at least make the region a better place.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
And how important is your family? Because I'm pretty
Very.
close. I'm pretty close to Rotary, and I know it's a big sacrifice,
Yes.
not only on the Rotarian who is involved in the service,
Yes.
but for the families, the wives and husbands and children
Yes.
who have to sacrifice some time. Really, they're part of the contributing team, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had to have two young kids, 14 years old and 12, and I have a beautiful wife at home. She's actually on the visit with me now. And of course, I have my parents that live with me as well. So it is a team effort. Everybody was on board. The decision wasn't just mine to go forward as governor. The decision was the families. Everybody had to say, yes, okay, we're okay with this happening. There is going to be some challenges, and no question about it, is taking a toll on the kids. The entire visit is going to take about 6 months from July. I'm actually going to be finishing Christmas Day, finishing my visits in Haiti. And there's no question about it, it's taking a toll. I can see it, I can feel it with them. I can only hope that they understand that the contribution being made is for the greater good, to help our communities. And hopefully one day they will look back and realize that their family, their dad and mom, were able to make that difference and maybe be inspired by that themselves.
To make a difference as well, to
Yeah.
join and to contribute and
Absolutely.
understand the importance of service.
Yes.
And so the message that you're bringing to the club here and especially to the younger clubs, the Rotaract,
Yeah.
what is that message you're bringing?
Yeah. So Rotary has 3 different areas of youth that they focus on. Rotaract, which is more young professionals and ages 18 to 30. Then you've got Interact, which is more high school. And then you've got Early Act, which is more primary school. And the message is really the same. Rotary serving humanity. Our motto of service above self is a reminder and an inspiration to everyone that we are all citizens of the world. We are all here to help our fellow human beings, those that are not as fortunate as us, and to be able to do whatever you can to make the world just a little bit better, to be able to walk with your fellow neighbor and hold them a little more upright, give them a helping hand and a lending hand if they need it. So we're hoping as leaders, and leadership is one of our core values as Rotarians, as leaders we can inspire these youth, the next generation, the future of our communities, to walk a righteous path, to be a good citizen of the world, and by extension to pay it forward to those that are going to follow them, some of the leadership traits and the values that we as Rotarians gave onto them.
Okay, cool. And so this is what you're going to be telling everybody as you go around. And you say it's going to take you 6 months, so that means you're going from country to country. I know you were in St. Thomas last week.
Correct.
And before that, where were you?
So
When you started out?
I started out at home in Jamaica. I actually wanted to reach my club first. And so from there, I went to Haiti. I went to the Cayman Islands. Now, Haiti is very big, so I got to go a few times. Jamaica is also very big, so I have to go different areas a few times. And then I did the outer islands of the Bahamas. And then I've now been to St. Thomas and went to St. Croix. I'm here now. From here, I go to Nassau. From Nassau, I go to St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Bart's. Then I go back to Haiti. Then back to, then to the Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, and then back to Haiti again, and then I go back home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, well, I guess with the modern technology, you get to Skype.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so while it's bad,
Yes.
it's not as bad as it used to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
In fact, just this morning, I was visiting the regular meeting of the Rotary Club Sunrise of Roadtown, and my daughter was on Skype watching my address.
So you
to
were
the
going
club.
live
Yes.
to her.
Yes,
Oh,
I
that
guess
was
you could
cool.
say that. It was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I understand, all the different things that Rotary is and so on, but I suspect that every district governor has a vision in their mind of what they would like their district governorship
Right.
to be like and to end up like.
Okay.
What accomplishments you'd like to see happen under your term. Can you talk to us a little bit
Sure,
about
absolutely. So when we started this Rotary year, we looked at where our district was, and we've been having challenges growing, unfortunately. Many areas in the Rotary world were growing, but some areas were not. So we decided that we were going to focus on strengthening Rotary, strengthening the Rotary and the Rotarian experience. That was the goal. And we believed if we strengthened the club, crafted the member experience, brought value to Rotary membership, everything would build from there. Clubs would grow, our impact in our communities would be even greater, and Rotary would be in a stronger place. So the focus this year is strengthening the Rotary clubs and crafting that member experience.
Okay. And what sort of activities and individual goals are you setting for clubs, for areas, for islands,
Now,
in order to build that strength?
yeah, so it's not one size fits all. Every territory is different. They have different strengths and different needs. And as a result of that, it has to be a very holistic approach for that particular area. I couldn't say that some of the issues in Jamaica are going to work for the British Virgin Islands. It's very different. In fact, Rotary is actually very strong in the British Virgin Islands. And one of my challenge has been to take that strength and reach out and perhaps help a weaker club in another country. Be a big brother, a helping hand.
Bring some ideas from one club to the other.
Absolutely, inspire them and showcase to them some of the things that make your club so successful. Because there's no question about it, Rotary is very strong in the British Virgin Islands, and I'm very happy with what I'm seeing over here. And my challenge to them is to use that and reach out to others and inspire them as well.
Okay. Do we have an idea of perhaps why there's a challenge of strengthening to strengthen Rotary? Why aren't you feeling that strength as a group that, from my perspective, does a lot
Yes,
for the community?
they do a lot.
And all the time, whenever there's a need, Rotary fills that need. When a school needs something, Rotary is there. When there's a disaster, Rotary is there. I mean, you would think that it would be stronger. Do you see, or have you identified what might be a hindrance to that strength?
Okay, so when I said it, we're having challenges in our district. Not every country, those challenges are there. To tell you the truth, it's actually growing in most of the 10 countries and 16 islands. Jamaica and Haiti are where the challenges are. And Haiti, of course, they've had even more disaster recently with Hurricane Matthew. But they did start off with some challenges. We are trying to figure out what's the problem over there. Some of the areas, they're having economic challenges that has caused the membership to dwindle to some degree. Some of them are suffering from migration as a result of that. But certainly, even within Haiti and Jamaica, you've got strong clubs that are growing. So I think it's more isolated to certain areas, and we're gone into those areas and trying to figure out, again, the value proposition, making members realize that there are benefits of joining Rotary and bringing that skill set, because everybody's classified. Everybody brings some expertise to the table, and that's the beauty of Rotary. And they use that expertise to make a contribution to their community.
Okay. So you think that perhaps it's economic, more so an economic challenge, that persons who are perhaps less economically well off might be having a problem with being a member of the, the old principle, you're so busy trying to make a living that you can't think of serving or anything else in the community because your whole life is taken up with survival.
Yeah. I think that is definitely a part of it. I mean, the reality is that if you don't take care of self, you can't serve. So I think a lot of it has to do with that they're trying to survive, to be able to build a life for themselves. We're trying to tell them that you can do both. Finding that right balance between family life, business life, and community service life is the way to go. But it's not easy. There's a new demographic of people coming in, the millennials, are coming in, and their approach is also different. So Rotary is also changing to appeal to these different generations. There are Rotary clubs right now that have probably 4 different generations in there. And yet, it cannot be one size fits all. It cannot be the same exact approach that's going to work for all these 4 generations. So the beauty is that Rotary has realized that, and they have allowed the flexibility and changes model to be able to work for all these different. Because I'm actually excited of what Rotary is going to look like as they appeal to all these different generations and how they engage them.
Okay. Well, from my perspective, I notice here, Rotary has had an image that I think is slowly dissipating. You know, it's slowly getting rid of that image with the development of Sunrise and the various clubs. An image where it appeared to be elitist is a strong word, but a sort of like a upper class or a higher class group. When you look at the membership, you see, professionals, educated, influential persons. And of course, those are the persons that can help. But other persons who perhaps is not on that order would feel, well, maybe that's not the club for me. Is that, have you looked at it from that perspective and sort of think of what that might look like in some persons in mind,
Yeah. So it's interesting. Of the 82 clubs I've visited, they're all very different. And even within certain areas, you will have clubs that are extremely different. And that's okay, because a Rotary club in a community is a reflection of the members of that community, right? We are a club of members. And so what you find happening is that as varied as these members are and as these clubs are, they have these 5 core values that stands out. We speak about service, which is what we're probably most famous for, but we have leadership. That's a big, strong hold of Rotary. That's a core value. We develop future leaders. We inspire new leaders. Fellowship. We all have a time. We came together to have a good time, right? Enjoy. If we're not enjoying the company of each other, how are we going to be able to make a meaningful contribution to society? Our 4th core value is diversity. Many of us are different, but we have strength in diversity. Irrespective of how different we are, we come together. And last but not least, and this is what speaks to your point, is integrity. It is the integrity component that people feel we have this elitist mentality. Sure, we're elitist in integrity. Many years ago, when you thought of the word Rotarian, you thought of sterling. You thought of something that is of very high caliber. But it wasn't necessarily high caliber in terms of somebody who's very wealthy. Maybe wealthy in integrity, wealthy in spirit, wealthy in mind, but not necessarily in dollars and cents.
In the ability to give.
Absolutely,
and serve.
yeah. So that's where it's coming from. But certainly, Rotary has changed. They've embraced all those that offer these core values and want to live by these core values. And I think it's exciting because I'm looking forward to #NewRotary and the direction it takes.
Okay. One of the things that I look at is the qualities, the leadership qualities of Rotary, the information that you get in Rotary that helps you to develop as a person while you serve, and how you're able to use the information and the support that you get to be a better human. And I see that in honor society groups as well.
Okay.
In schools.
Right.
I see the honor societies with the teachings that they give to those gifted children, and they go to these various conferences and they get all this information and how it inspires them and motivates them, and they become better at learning and better at giving and better at doing what they do. And I wonder if perhaps some of that instructions, some of harnessing the person, harvesting those person's mind I shouldn't reach out to the not so fortunate or the not so gifted.
Yeah.
You know, I had an opportunity to bring some of the honor society's information to the less fortunate children,
Okay.
and as an experiment, and notice the impact it had on those children and those students that we thought were not so good students or not so bright, and how the information, the leadership information that they got from the society that the other gifted children were getting, it turned those other children around.
Yeah.
And so just supposing that scenario with Rotarians who have all of that energy and knowledge and understanding of life and motivation and various techniques on how to talk and lead and so on, if we could get more of that into a broader cadre, if I should use that word, of Rotarians.
You're speaking my language here, okay? I have drank the Kool-Aid. I understand what you're saying. Rotary has a program like that. It's called RYLA, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, or Rotary Youth Leadership Academy, however you want to call it. But the idea is just that, taking leaders, and that's what Rotarians are, and showcasing that to those out there that have not been exposed to it, that could certainly benefit from it. And that is something that we're actually challenging the Rotary clubs on the BVI to actually maybe take a look at RYLA a little bit more and utilize this wonderful program that Rotary has to be able to get to those that you're talking about.
I think it would make a tremendous impact. We got to take a break for a word from our sponsors. I'm having a really interesting discussion with District Governor Harish Ramchandani of District 720, and we're going to come back with District Governor right after these words from our sponsors. Keep it locked right at the Spotlight.
Spotlight is brought to you by CCTBVI, Life Unlimited, and the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official Bank of Paradise.
Welcome back to Spotlight. If you just joined us, I'm here with the 7020 Rotary District Governor, Harish Ramchandani. Yeah, there you go. See, don't force me to do what I can't. But we're having a really great discussion about Rotary. He's here in the Virgin Islands to meet with the clubs here and bring a message of service and goodwill to the clubs and inspire everybody here to serve. And I suspect District Governor Harish is not just Rotarians. You're just inspiring everybody that's listening and watching you and hearing what you say to get involved in service.
We're all Rotarians at heart.
Yeah, because I mean, the world could get, and sometimes it seems like it's getting to be a more selfish place. Like there's a lot of touting of individualism.
Right.
And pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. And I tried doing that once and I couldn't get off the ground. You just can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. There's got to be somebody helping you up. And so we get into this feeling of, if I don't make it for myself, I'm not gonna get it. And that feeling sort of puts you you insulate yourself. You don't want to come out and help and make a contribution to your fellow man. So I think it's good that Rotary continues to bring that message and attempt to inspire persons to not be so selfish and to take on a role of service about self. Now, you're also here for the big annual foundation dinner. And this is the third annual foundation dinner. And I don't think that many persons are aware of what the Rotary Foundation is and how it was formed and what it actually does.
Right. So the Rotary Foundation is probably the vehicle that I could use that terminology. It's the vehicle that Rotarians use to really do good in the world. That's actually the theme of the Rotary Foundation. It's a funding grant mechanism that has been put in place since 1917. So next year we actually celebrate 100 years of the Rotary Foundation. And think of it, my friends, as a big pot where Rotarians from around the world and friends of Rotary and even corporate organizations would contribute into this big pot. They mix this pot up, and then Rotary clubs would ask for grants from the pot and take it and make a difference in their community. Now, the Rotary Foundation grant model is pretty unique, as I said. It's really using contributions. But if you go on charitynavigator.org, which is an independent rating agency that looks at all the different charities across the world, and they actually evaluate and they give you a rating. And if you go on charitynavigator.org, you punch in Rotary, you are going to see the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International with a 4-star, 100% rating. Now that tells me a lot, not just as a Rotarian, but it makes me proud to be a Rotarian. Makes me proud to know that, you know what, my contribution going into the Rotary Foundation has a unbelievable impact in our communities. Now, I'm not going to give out the names of other organizations out there, but feel free to go online and punch in your favorite charity or ones that you may have heard of and see what the ratings are on there.
Yeah. And that means that a considerable percentage or the largest percentage of the contribution goes to where it's needed. Because you hear stories about charities where I've heard up to 75 to 80% of the donations go to administrative costs.
That's right.
And 20%, sometimes even less, get to the ground where the persons actually need the assistance.
That's right. You see, I can't stop the smile on my face because I know if they go and they check it out, they will realize, oh my goodness, we shouldn't even be thinking of anybody else. This foundation, the Rotary Foundation, is probably the best way to make a meaningful difference in our communities.
And so how does one contribute to the Rotary Foundation?
Well, there's several ways. The easiest way is to probably go online to rotary.org and you can click Give. There's a button there. You can make a contribution via credit card. You could also reach out to the 3 Rotary clubs in the British Virgin Islands. The Rotary Club of Tortola, the Rotary Club of Roadtown, and the Rotary Club Sunrise of Roadtown, and speak to any Rotarian and say, how can I make a difference out there? And they'll be more than happy to put you in the right direction.
Okay. Now, what are some of the funds used for? What are some of the projects that Rotary Foundation has funded over the years?
Well, it is extremely varied, from water and sanitation to basic education and literacy to peace and conflict resolution to economic development, economic and community development, and to disease prevention and treatment. It is extremely varied, but probably what we are most famous for as an international organization is our fight to end polio now. You know, since '85, Rotary came on board with partners like the World Health Organization, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, UNICEF, and more recently with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And together, we've decided we are going to fight until we get the job done. You know, many people don't even realize polio is still around in the world, but we still have 3 countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and more recently Nigeria back on the list. There's been 27 cases. I know it's not that much, but if we don't stop polio, it is a risk to all of us in the world. So we have to get the job done. And Rotary is on the cusp of it. We are nearly there. As many of you may have realized, we are this close to ending polio, our tagline for that. But we really believe we're almost there. You know, of just 27 cases now, if you go and speak to some of the health workers and volunteers out in the field, they can tell you right now they really believe the end is almost there. So we're very excited, especially as we celebrate 100 years coming up. Extremely excited that we're going to be part of history. And you, my friends and contributors, you too can be part of history by joining this movement, making a contribution, knowing very well that it is getting to those that need it the most. And we're going to get the job done together.
Yeah. I know that the Rotary and the BVI has made significant contributions to Haiti in its time of need. And, you know, sometimes you wonder why Haiti, you know, but that's the reality on the ground. And when you need help, you need help. But Rotary in the BVI and I know Rotary internationally has made significant contributions to Haiti. We had a telethon here on Spotlight, and raised, I think that night we raised about $20-something thousand. During the earthquake, I think Rotary and the BVI raised close to $200,000. So there's been a lot of contributions to Haiti. Are you aware of what changes have been made, how the contributions and how Rotary is impact change in Haiti, and what difference the contributions have made? And is Haiti, well, give us an update on Haiti, because we haven't heard since the fundraising and so on.
Right.
We haven't heard what has happened, what has changed, what improvement has come to the people's lives there.
Right. Okay, so Hurricane Matthew came and they hit the southwest peninsula of Haiti, in particular very close to the town of Lekai, and also they devastated the town of Jeremy. Shortly after that, there was another very bad weather pattern that many people don't even realize, that went almost exactly on the same spot that Matthew went over. And just 2 days ago, another weather pattern hit the north of Haiti. And if you can see photographs online of the devastation and the flooding that's been going on. So I see a point when you say, why Haiti again? Is there any end in sight? And I don't know what the answer to that is. But what I can tell you is that Rotary had boots on the ground, to use that term that you said. We have a very strong Rotary Club in Lekai, and they were immediately able to assess the needs of the community, and they realized that roofing was very critical for many, many homes. Over 1,000 homes lost their roofs, schools lost their roofs, and clean drinking water. There was a cholera outbreak that took place over there. So right away, that was where we focused on. And all the funds being raised that you are also a part of has gone to that. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. Fixing thousands of roofs and schools is not something that's going to happen in the blink of an eye. But work is going on as we speak right now. We have a team on the ground that is monitoring it. We have a district disaster committee that is overseeing it and supervising all the purchases, all the materials, all the funding, and a complete report and transparency is being given as the progress takes place throughout. Because we're very cognizant of the fact people need to be comfortable that the contribution they're making is actually getting to those that need it. So I'm very excited because I know we're part of the solution, and I know that all the funds that are being raised, 100% of it is actually getting to the communities that need it. So
roofs are being put on.
Correct.
Persons are moving back into their homes. Clean drinking water is becoming more and more available.
That's right.
Sanitary conditions are improving.
Yes.
And the cholera is dissipating, is being managed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good news. That's certainly good news. I have a pet project.
Okay.
And I'm glad you're here. I'm gonna take the bold opportunity.
Okay.
To pitch my pet project.
Okay.
Because I've tried to sell it to the 3 Rotary clubs.
Mm-hmm. Successfully or unsuccessfully?
Unsuccessfully. Juggy's here and he hasn't done anything about it.
Okay.
You know, all he does is smile.
Okay.
So I'm hoping I could get some help from you.
Okay.
There are 3 times in the year that I think Rotary can make a difference in young people's lives, especially young people that have a need. And it's Christmas vacation, Easter vacation, and summer vacation, where young people need jobs.
Okay.
High school kids need jobs. And I'm thinking that Rotarians who own businesses could set aside whatever jobs they could afford, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, you're in business, and you know you have. You're so busy working all year that got some files piled up in the corner that you haven't been able to put in the right place. Mm-hmm. You got some corners that need sweeping out that you haven't been to in months because you're so busy trying to drum up new business and finish the projects you're doing. Your shelves need tidying up because there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on in a business that that you don't get to. And perhaps a young person could get a good work ethic from that experience, from working, learn, be exposed to a trade or vocation or a career, make some extra money to have to buy a Christmas gift or to buy supplies when to go back to school, and just develop a good work ethic. And I'm hoping that Rotarians with businesses will set aside whatever they could set aside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, and during those 3 times a year, for 3 weeks or a month at Christmas, for 3 weeks in Easter, for a month or 6 weeks in the summer vacation, and give some young people who need work, give them a job.
Okay. It sounds like a good idea. I don't see no reason why it can't happen. If you have a dream, you have a vision, you have drive, certainly anything is possible. I can tell you on my part, when I have the conversations with Rotarians in the BVI over the next few days, I will be more than happy to bring it up and see if there is any possibility something like that can happen.
Well, see, that's why I'm pitching it to you. I figure you're the district governor.
Okay.
You should have some influence.
Well, we can certainly have the conversations with them.
Yeah. So that's a sort of idea I had because I interact with young people a lot.
Right.
And a lot of them come to me and say, do you know any jobs available? I need a summer job. I need a job. Period.
Yeah.
A permanent job. Some of them are just out of school. And, and they talk to me and I say, well, okay, let me see what I could do. Sometimes I could find something for them. But most of the times I can't. And I figure if I could get some kind of structure going with the organization that I think could help to develop young people in that regard, that'll make a difference. And I really like to see Rotary. I think Rotary can make a difference in that way and really get public support, get the community behind them in that endeavor. So I'm looking forward to seeing some results. Now we're finally at turning of the clock, and I know that your term is going to come to an end next June.
June 30th.
June 30th.
2017.
And usually at that time, there's a district conference and all that sort. So first of all, at the end of your term, what you hope would have happened in District 7020, and what is your ending district conference going to look like?
Okay. So, as I said in the very beginning, what I started out with, my goal is to leave my district just a little bit stronger than I found it in terms of membership growth, in terms of membership engagement, in terms of community outreach. As far as the district conference, this year we're doing some things a little different. We're being the change, and we're going to be doing it on a cruise. So district cruise conference. We'll start out in Miami, a 5-day conference. We're excited because we already have over 500 registrants for it. We're very excited about that. We believe we may have to actually tell people there's no more space. So it will be a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. But we're excited. It's going to be quite different. And the conference is a wonderful opportunity for Rotarians and their friends and family to even come, have a vacation, but at the same time see what Rotary in the various communities are doing, what it's doing internationally as an organization, and also the difference it's making in the lives of so many people.
All right, that's great. That's great. So I'm going to leave you with the final message, whether you want to invite people down to the foundation dinner, you want to leave an inspirational message, but I'm going to give you some time, a few minutes to look right into the audience's eyes and give them some inspiration as to what you hope their lives would be going forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity to be here and to speak with you all. As governor, I am very proud of Rotary. I'm very proud of the organization I'm a part of. And I will leave a very short message to you to just think about supporting Rotary as a member, as a contributor, as a friend, and to use this vehicle of change, use this vehicle of inspiration, that we continue to change the lives of people in our communities. Together, we can do good, be good. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. District Governor Haresh, it was a tremendous pleasure and honor to have you on Spotlight.
Thank you so
All
much.
the best.
Glad
And
to be
enjoy. I hope Juggy give you a little chance to enjoy some of the hospitality and the beauty of the BVI.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good, all the best. We're going to take a break for one from our sponsors. When we come back, I'm going to come back with St. Clair Springate, and we're going to be talking about the British Virgin Islands Chamber of Commerce and Hotel Association big gala coming up on November the 19th. All the awards that's going to be given out and the partying that's going to go down, and hope that you would buy some tickets and attend and have yourself a good time. Keep it locked right here to Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited and CTL Home Center, the best products for the lowest prices, period.